Shove it, man! Alright, it's the Hawk, and I've got a real treat for all the little Hawkomaniacs today, brother. I've dug out a genuinely terrible pay-per-view deep from the depths of Sonny Siaki's ass to review, and it sure stinks. Since doing these reviews and interviewing Violent J, I've really pretty much enjoyed anything ICP, and everyone I've dealt with has been friendly and cool, not typical wrestling fans. But Juggalos may want to look away now, because this will not be your proudest moment. The ICP run their own wrestling promotion, JCW, and it's actually kind of mad to see how many wrestling legends they managed to book on their shows throughout the 2000s. And nothing demonstrates that more than a pay-per-view event that they ran in the year 2011 called Legends and Icons. Every single match featured a famous wrestler, but the twist here is that they're all well past their prime and gone off like mouldy Hovis in your bread bin. This could be the worst wrestling show since the Heroes of Wrestling event. So grab a beer and sit yourself down, because now it's time to make you frown. Legends and Icons takes place at Cave in Rock, Illinois, so hardly New York City, but that shouldn't matter with the rowdy JCW fans on hand.
Twins of Evil.
Alright, the show starts with a terrible in-ring introduction from a little man called Kevin Gill. I love how he happily tells the crowd that Terry Funk will be wrestling tonight. He sounds so eager to get the crowd's approval. The Juggalos promptly boo the fact that Terry Funk is wrestling tonight.
Give it up for Terry Funk!
He hypes up his co-commentator for the night, who will be Mick Foley. The crowd boo again. Man, this crowd is hard to please. What were they expecting on a JCW show?
Foley!
Foley looks the size of a small hippopotamus as he waddles his way into the cage. This is actually about 6 months after he left TNA. Foley says that he doesn't care about the matches tonight, he just wants to hear the crowd chant Cactus Jack. Gill tries to push Foley further to talk about the matches tonight, but Foley says he unfortunately doesn't even know who's in the Battle Royal tonight. They hype up the stand of the wrestlers in the back and say it's a Wrestling Hall of Fame back there. We cut to the back somewhere where the JCW DJ is playing their music when it cuts to Bill Apter, who is randomly here. He looks so funny talking over rap music. He interviews Tito Santana, who says he'll win his cage match tonight. They also have Dave Penza here for the ring entrances. Man, how much money must they have sank into this show? The opening match is a cage match between 60-year-old Greg the Hammer Valentine and 58-year-old Tito Santana. Lots of history between these two. Mick Foley on commentary seems alright, to be fair. He wisely explains the differences between cages with wire and cages with bars. Wire is better for violence and bars are easier for climbing. After nothing happens for a while, Tito Santana fights off a figure 4 attempt. Tito throws some punches which looks like a knockout blow on the Hammer. Tito stamps on his wrinkled nutsack. Then Tito tries a figure 4 which is switched into a small package for a 2. Then, randomly, the Hammer grabs his eyelash, knocks Tito down and pins him with his feet on the ropes. And it's over. Why is it over? What? Why was this a cage match? I don't understand. Did they just make this a cage match to waste some more money? It went about 3 minutes and nothing happened. Wow, I hope this isn't going to be a sign of things to come. Probably the worst cage match I've ever seen. After this match, randomly, Greg Valentine throws a Pro Wrestling Illustrated award at Tito. Tito destroys the award, which is a throwback to Valentine smashing Tito's Intercontinental title many years ago. The value isn't quite the same. Kevin Gill, Mick Foley talk for 5 minutes, which gives the audience time to calm down from the excitement of that cage match. This goes on much longer than the actual cage match did, which further shows how silly it was to have a cage match. A terrified looking Bill Apter tries to interview the Headbangers about their Battle Royal tonight. They make fun of Apter's haircut and refuse to give any answers. A girl carries a card around the ring saying match 2. This is the closest we get to seeing a women's match on this show. Unfortunately, the cage is finally down and Penza desperately tells us that the next match is a Battle Royal, Royal Rumble style. And the first man out is Hacksaw Jim Duggan. The second participant will be Headbanger Mosh. Mosh quickly checks the rules of this match with the referee. They do literally nothing before Penza announces that it's 30 seconds until the next entrant. This is the key for them to start punching. Duggan sends him into the corner a couple of times. A saxophone loudly starts playing. No one seems to be coming out. Then Ronnie Garvin walks out in his street clothes. Penza doesn't know who he is. Garvin and Duggan seem hesitant. They eventually try to work together but can't eliminate Mosh. And out runs Thrasher, his partner. The two partners stand tall with each other. Then some familiar music hits and Carlito walks out drinking a beer. Great to see someone who actually looks in wrestling shape. At this point, it's very trippy seeing someone who isn't a lump. Hacksaw Jim Duggan weakly eliminates Ronnie Garvin. Despite Carlito's ring shape, he doesn't seem to be doing very well. Next out is 68-year-old Superfly Jimmy Snuka. The match stops so all the wrestlers can clap him. During the clapping, Hacksaw throws out Mosh. Now it's Tony Atlas. Carlito has barely moved, maybe he's had too many of those beers. Some more familiar music plays and out creaks Big Daddy V Viscera, or as they call him here, Vicera. The other wrestlers seem like they're going to work together against this guy. Vicera eliminates Jim Duggan, which reminds the other wrestlers that they do need to work together against him. They fail. Vicera with another elimination on Thrasher, which the commentary team managed to miss. Rob Conway enters. Why is Rob Conway here? And Duggan randomly takes a cheap shot at him on the ramp. Conway has a bicep showdown with Tony Atlas, who seems to have also been eliminated, but it's been missed by the cameraman. Atlas joins commentary and says he's coming back bigger and badder next year. Viscera slowly hits at Jimmy Snuka. Now it's Zach Gowen. The one-legged wonder is the youngest man at this show at 28 years old. Conway attacks him on the outside. He rips off his prosthetic leg, which we're told on commentary cost $15,000 and was a present from Vincent McMahon. Carlito gets tired of the bullying and tries to dive on Conway, which doesn't look great. This means that he's eliminated himself. Gowen has finally made it into the ring. Doink the Clown is out now, the original Doink, Matt Bourne. Hilariously, Mick Foley tries to interview Carlito, who completely ignores him. Zach Gowen carefully eliminates Jimmy Snuka. Eugene Dinsmore is out now. He's apparently been feuding with Gowen in JCW, as they're both handicapped. Hogan's best friend, Brutus Beefcake, joins the match. It's not even mentioned by anybody. Foley is proud of his new gimmick of trying to interview wrestlers after they've been beaten. Oh no, the next man out is the gifted Glenn Gilberti. How is he gifted? Loud boos from the crowd. Zach Gowen sort of eliminates Eugene. Brutus and Conway lift Gowen up and drop him to the mat. It feels weird seeing an actual wrestling move. Vicera eliminates Brother Brutus. The wrestlers have all stopped in the ring now because the final man in the Battle Royal is Rikishi. Rikishi is the only man with any energy and passion in this match. He has a stare down with Big Daddy V. Rikishi dances at him and headbutts him. He throws a bunch of super kicks, and yes, he gives gifted Glenn Gilberti an extra smelly stink face. Then unfortunately Big Daddy V throws him out. The crowd aren't happy, they wanted Rikishi to win. Now there's some confusion as both Conway and Gilberti seem to have been eliminated. We cut back to the ring to see the final two, and Vicera hits a big choke bomb on Zach Gowen. Gowen keeps trying to duck Vicera and send him out. They try this twice, but both times Vicera's too fat and his belly gets stuck on the rope. They do it a third time, and this time the ropes are greased up enough and Vicera is gone and Gowen has won. Wow, that was pretty terrible. It was okay when Rikishi was in there, but it was painful for the rest of it, and the ending was completely ruined. Everyone looked like they would rather be anywhere else but here. And wow, believe it or not, but that's the first hour of the show done. It won't surprise you to know that next up some more old men will be wrestling on the show with the Rock and Roll Express. It's everybody's favourite grandma Morton and Gibson. Appropriately for this show, the old men team of the Midnight Express will take on the Rock and Roll Express. It's a feud as old as time. Sadly, this match will not go down as a classic in their history. The Rock and Roll Express hit a double dropkick and it's over in 30 seconds. Wow, what a waste of time. The pre-match interview was longer than the match. The Rock and Roll Express quickly leave. Mick Foley tries to call them over for an interview and they ignore him. They look like they wanted to be any place but here. The commentary team say there's an interview with Bill Apter now, but no interview plays and Foley and Gill desperately stall for time. They decide to analyse the ring girl. I wrote analyse by mistake. After a long time, the interview does happen as Bill Apter has tracked down Terry Funk. Funk cuts a promo about Roddy Pipper, comparing him to cat poo. He also says if you breed an idiot horse with an idiot horse, you get an idiot. Piper's mum was a whore and his dad was an idiot, so he produced an idiot. Not his greatest promo. He runs down Roddy Piper's movie, They Live. He does this for ages and ages. The point he's trying to make is that Piper is an actor, but Funk is real. The next match is an ECW match. The man called Raisin is here. They say Raisin is the last great holdout from the territory days, but Foley says, I disagree, Jericho is better. The next participant is Balls Mahoney. Shane Douglas is also here. He's not been seen since his random TNA pay-per-view against Daniels. The ECW legends continue with the homicidal Sabu, Too Cold Scorpio and Al Snow. Wasn't expecting to see Al Snow here. And finally, 400 pounds of gravy, Rhyno. It's not actually a bad collection of guys to see on a show like this. Not sure why, but we start with 3 men in the ring and they do that triple headlock spot from the early days of ECW. Straight away it's clear that this is the only match so far where the wrestlers can still move. Snow and Douglas clothesline each other down. The short-haired Sabu sets up a table. He takes the other guys out of a double springboard back elbow. Tags are made. Sabu wipes out Rhyno with a springboard leg drop which is quickly followed by a Scorpio split-legged moonsault. Balls throws his ball punches as they make Mr. McMahon jokes on commentary about grapefruits. Balls hits Rhyno with a Michinoku driver. Scorpio superkicks him and climbs to the top. He tries to land a 450 but botches it as he comes down with his knees on Balls. Douglas connects with belly to belly, Raven hits the raise in effect, Al Snow starts using head until Sabu throws a chair in his face. Snow is placed on the table but Sabu misses his leg drop through the table. Rhyno gores Snow which the cameraman somehow misses and it's over. It didn't even go 4 minutes. The ECW wrestlers continue fighting, but the cameraman can't be bothered to show it. Balls Mahoney repeats his segment with Mr. McMahon about not having any balls. He moans that he wasn't booked on the WWE show.
Vince has balls! I have no balls!
Vince has balls. I have no balls.
Rhyno apparently gores Too Cold Scorpio, but again the cameraman has missed it. What a mess. Foley asks for a replay, but it's not a replay of the gore, instead it's a replay of Balls Mahoney doing a repeat of the Vince McMahon No Balls segment. Al Snow joins Mick and makes head jokes. He says he pooped his pants. Once again they do the Vince McMahon has no balls joke. We go from that incredible segment to an interview with Bob Backlund. Foley says he'll clap until the interview happens. He soon regrets this as he's left clapping for an entire minute, until Kevin says, okay, we're told Bob Backlund doesn't want to do an interview. This is brilliant. After a very long time, Bob Backlund jogs out in great shape as always. He's the only wrestler who has interacted with the Juggalos so far. It's actually good to see because the poor fans have not been treated to much. He will take on Ken Patera. Wow, why weren't these guys in the Battle Royal instead? This feels like such a strange fit on a JCW show. They run down all of Patera's Olympic credentials whilst he looks like the most Olympic thing he's done in years is lift a cheeseburger up. They stand around looking at each other for ages. They shake hands. Finally, they lock up and Patera lightly pushes him back. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Backlund keeps dodging him and I don't even think that's impressive. Mr. Backlund runs away and goes to the Juggalos again. He returns and there's finally a lockup. Patera has the strength advantage. I just noticed how funny this referee is. He looks like Shrek's aborted brother. Please end this match. Patera is too busy picking his nose. Now he puts on a bear hug whilst Backlund rubs his haircut. Why is this still going? Patera grabs his eyelash, another bear hug. Look, it's clear they can't take a bump, so why give them a singles match? Backlund reverses the bear hug and then he just sort of falls over. Now Patera attempts a full Nelson. Backlund waves his arms around like ICP doing the Oddities entrance. Backlund reverses it and almost puts the cross-face chicken wing on. Then Bob Backlund dodges a punch and awkwardly rolls up Patera for the 3. Other than the Rumble match, this is the second longest match of the night, believe it or not. The crowd are loudly booing. Backlund puts a fan in the chicken wing. Patera tries a post-match attack which looks like it doesn't even connect. Nothing happens. Why am I even watching this? This is unbearable. Bob Backlund up at the commentary desk screams into the microphone. He says next time he comes here he's going to clean up the fans' language. This guy is nuts. The gaps between the matches are way longer than the actual matches. If Mick Foley wasn't here being entertaining, this show would be 100% unwatchable. Now it's a Memphis midcard match. Don't get excited though. Dutch Mantel is here with a whip. It's another multi-man match. He faces Coco Beware, Brickhouse Brown, Dangerous Doug Gilbert and Austin Idol. They say that Hogan wouldn't exist without this man. And there is some truth to that. Hogan has admitted he got the ear cut gimmick from Idol and he stole Idolmania from him. So here we go, another match where every man is in their 50s or 60s. Coco kicks Gilbert in the nutsack, and at this point I just don't know what to say. Idol throws Brickhouse into Gilbert, he puts on the figure 4 leg lock on Gilbert, but Dutch Mantel breaks up the submission. Dutch Mantel accidentally hits Gilbert in the head with a whip punch. They shove each other and then Austin Idol wins with a roll up. At this point the crowd don't even react to the finish. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Imagine paying for this. I'm surprised that this show didn't end JCW. Brickhouse on commentary swears he will knock someone out tonight. Bit too late for that, isn't it? It's over. Now Austin Idol talks about his new sportswear brand, Athletic Apparel. It sounds like a brand that's famous, but when I look it up, nothing. Now Dave Penza brings out Tracy Smothers and his illegitimate daughter. I miss Tracy Smothers. Then he falls over. I hope that was deliberate, but it's hard to tell on this show. He seems to be facing Wildfire Tommy Rich. But more importantly, we cut to the commentary desk where Foley asks Dave Penza how he feels about being a poor man's Jeremy Borash. In the ring, Tommy Rich hits a knee lift. The illegitimate daughter distracts Tommy Rich and Smothers pins him with his feet on the ropes. It's over in 36 seconds. I'm not even surprised at this point. Why even bother having the match? Foley desperately tells us that these guys are capable of doing a lot more. Shame we didn't see it. We've got a really big match up next that can't have been cheap for JCW to book. But first, the crowd are having a good time, but one fan seems to have passed out. I don't blame him, I would have too if I had to watch this live at 3 in the morning. They announce the next match. Some music hits, and then nothing happens. The crowd chant, "You screwed up." Now, the very familiar music of Mold Dog hits. And here they are, the New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn and Mold Dog in the JCW. Road Dogg has the mic. He does his usual stick, but at this point it's so much more pleasurable because you get to hear some energy on this show. And the Outlaws are going to take on the NWO, Kevin Nash and X-Pac. But they aren't the NWO, they are the JWO, the Juggalo World Order. Great to see the one that looks like Elvis. Scott Hall, of course, is good buddies with the Insane Clown Posse, and it's not the first time he's been seen in this company. Scott Hall has the microphone. He gives the least energetic "Hey Yo" of all time.
Hey yo!
Whoa.
For years and years, we've been taking a little survey.
He surveys the crowd to see if they came to see DX or the NWO. Scott Hall sounds very sick at this point. It's kind of sad. X-Pac has 2 words for DX. Whoop whoop. Randomly, Vampiro would be the referee. They really did just get anyone with some name value on this show, didn't they? Nash and Road Dogg to start. Kevin immediately throws knees and elbows in the corner. Road Dogg comes back with a shake, rattle and roll. The commentary team advise us that people have started blazing in the crowd. Hopefully it makes this show more bearable for them. X-Pac and Billy Gunn fight now. Waltman hits an impressive dropkick and a spin kick. Sadly, it's the highlight of the entire show so far. He also has a kick for Road Dogg. X-Pac connects with a Bronco Buster to Road Dogg, but he's clotheslined down by Billy. The match slows down as Road Dogg puts on a submission, but Dogg can't make him pass out and X-Pac comes back. Dogg quickly closes him down with an elbow and the shaky leg knee drop. Now for the incredible swerve part on the show. Vampiro, the special referee, slow counts him. Just what we needed on this show. They talk about whether or not Vampiro is too high to be the referee tonight. X-Pac takes out the Outlaws with a double clothesline. Nash turns the match around with a big boot. He connects with an awkward looking chokeslam, but surprisingly it's just a 2 count. Vampiro kicks the Mold Dog, and then Vampiro drapes Nash on top of Billy Gunn and fast counts a 3. What? Billy Gunn already kicked out the chokeslam, that was weird. Nothing else happened to him. Vampiro kicked Mold Dog, not Billy Gunn, it doesn't make any sense. Apparently, Vampiro has joined the JWO. Don't you just love how his shirt doesn't match the other guy's shirts? It feels like it wasn't planned, and this happened for real. Crazy drama. Foley asks Nash how his leg is. Nash says he injured it on the ferry crossing and criticises the ring, saying it wasn't good enough and it was too bouncy. They talk about whether X-Pac has another major run left in wrestling. He tells Pac that he's the only one who's been able to actually wrestle tonight and says he has a major run left. Pac thinks otherwise and says he's too blown up. Foley says he's going to text everybody in power in the major companies asking for another X-Pac run. After all this hype for X-Pac, he never did have another major run. Props to X-Pac though for not phoning it in tonight like everybody else on this show. And just like that, it's apparently main event time. From the Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas, it's Terry Funk. Funk starts attacking David Penza. He has him cowering in the corner. What a dick. And here's his opponent, Roddy Pipper with Bob Orton. Funk seems extra round up now and he has a microphone. He's still making fun of Piper's film. Funk feels like Piper doesn't respect him. His old man rant goes on and on and on. He tells the horse joke again.
You breed an idiot horse to an idiot horse, you get an idiot.
What does he have against Piper's parents? For the 3rd time tonight, he repeats the horse joke. This is so bizarre to hear.
And when you breed idiot, stupid parents to each other, what they produce is another goddamned idiot. You phony! You piece of crap!
He's swearing at Piper and then he notices that Bob Orton is here. This makes him back off a bit. Piper gets to respond on the mic. He says he funked Terry's mother and spits at him. Funk spits back. Man, this is insane and great too. Piper charges and smacks him with the mic. The bell rings. Piper whips him around the outside. Piper ain't messing around with those punches. We just about make it into the ring. Funk starts fighting back with punches. Terry Funk locks him in a sleeper until Bob Orton breaks it up. I didn't realise this match was a handicap match. Piper lands a big punch with Foley on commentary saying he can't take much more of this. He's gonna do something about it. Foley charges down to the ring, which is the loudest crowd reaction of the night. He just about managed to sliver into the ring. He's quickly beaten down by Orton in the corner. It's just a bunch of slow punches, but Foley has apparently joined this match. Foley is sent into the ring pole on the outside, just as Funk small packages Orton. Piper breaks up the pin. Someone slops down on top of Funk, and that's the 3. Wow. The crowd are livid and swearing at this terrible match. As it turned out, this was Roddy Piper's last match. What a way to go out. Why even have Foley in there if he's not going to be involved with the finish? And what kind of save was that from Foley? He did absolutely nothing. That was disgusting. 4 minutes, in case you were wondering. Mick Foley on the mic admits he didn't do much in that match and said he can barely get in the ring anymore, which is why he retired. Foley thanks the fans and says if they'll have him, he'll come back next year. The crowd loudly boo.
And if you'll have me, I'll come back next year to the gathering of the Juggalos.
Funk says he doesn't want to ever wrestle Foley again and loves him as his partner. Foley invites the fans to his comedy session later in the night. Again, the crowd boo. And Foley walks off up the ramp to loud boos and chants of bullshit. Back at the commentary desk, Foley admits that he sucks and he stunk up the place. Terry Funk says the reason he doesn't like Piper is because he criticised his acting ability in the past and called Funk a flash in the pan. Foley desperately tells us that someone is switching all the lights off in the building. He makes some jokes and Brickhouse Brown returns to hug Foley and it ends. Wow. This was actually Mick Foley's second to last wrestling match before his appearance at Royal Rumble 2012. It was actually only 8 months after his TNA match with Ric Flair. It's crazy how fast this guy deteriorated. Despite that, I will say, without Mick Foley on this show, it would have gone down as the worst wrestling show of all time. Worse than Heroes of Wrestling. Because Mick Foley was brilliant on commentary all night and really gave the show some energy and personality. All of the matches ranged from poor to bad. If you take out the ECW matchup, there was less than 10 actual wrestling moves on the entire show. Many matches went short. None of the wrestlers looked like they wanted to be there. The matches were filled with botches and had weird finishes. The show was clearly rushed due to some problems with the timings and it finished at like 5 AM. If you went into this one expecting anything even remotely watchable, you're going to be extremely disappointed. But if you went into this one just to see some familiar faces, then I guess it served a purpose. It really didn't feel like any JCW show that I've seen, so if you're not familiar with their company, this doesn't represent what they actually do. The Hawk gives this show a 1 out of 10 and the 1 is for the commentary, and if you don't agree with that, I'll beat you down voluntary.